Okay, today we're going to talk about website conversion. Because the bottom line is, if you have a product and it's trying to sell it on a website, if that site doesn't convert, then everything else you do is an absolute waste. You've got to make sure that that site will convert. There are 5 factors we're going to talk about, which are the main overlying factors involved in this. We'll roll through each one, and we'll tell you a little bit more here. So we're going to cover the 5 factors, how they affect conversion, and then in the process we'll cover some examples in this. Okay? Now, let's first define the word conversion. And here I've got a lengthy explanation. This is the change from one belief, view, course, party, or principle to another. This is the bringing over or persuasion of a person to a particular belief, party, or principle. So it's bringing them over, bringing them across, changing their point of view. Another way of looking at this is the change from one use or purpose to another. So in short, the change from one state to another, or in this case really what we're talking about is people. So we're talking about the changes in people. We'd like to see prospects changed into customers, visitors changed into subscribers, customers to clients, customers to affiliates, and then to be all and end all, any of the above, we'd love to see them all become kind of unofficial brand evangelists. And this is really, it's just the greatest tool you can have, is to have these people running around spouting off how great your product is. It doesn't get any better than that. So here, these are the pieces we're going to talk about. We've got prospect awareness, the value proposition, the action catalyst, the action incentives, the process inhibitors, and then trust and anxiety. And the last two there, the process inhibitors and trust and anxiety, these are elements that that can be largely, they're in essence, they're negative. And so we have to figure out ways to combat them and create a positive environment around them. So the first one we're going to look at here is the levels of awareness. And there are a number of different levels we're going to work with, 5 in this case. And so we'll kind of roll through them here. The first one, this is the easiest sale for you. That is, besides somebody who's already bought your product, and frankly somebody who owns one of your products would fit in this. But this is an instance where the customer, the client, or the knows of your product. They know what it does, and they know that he or she wants your product. Here's the next one. They're not yet completely aware of or convinced how good your product is, or they haven't been told how good it is. So here's an instance where, they're aware of the product name, they're aware of what it does, what it can do for them, but they're not yet sure how good the fit is for them. So they've got to check things out. Next one. In this case, they know that they want what the product does, but they don't yet know that there is a product, which in this case would be yours, that'll do it for them. So in this case, we have to introduce the product. And this is a little tougher because they don't know your product yet, so we do have to introduce them. We have to pull them into them. We have to draw them in and then explain to them how and why your product is right for them. The next one, the prospect has a need but no desire. There's no connection between fulfilling that need and your offering. And we'll get into a little further what this one is. This is an interesting one as well. And then the fifth one, hopefully this is not a group that you're ever going to be dealing with, because really there is no need, no awareness or need or desire for the product, or the need is so undefined that there is zero draw to your offering. This is not who you want to be dealing with. So let's take a little closer look at each of these and talk about each of them in a little more detail. So this first one here, they know of your product. They know what it does. They know, that he or she wants it. This is easy. The golfer. They want Callaway clubs. They've read about them. They know about them. They've even held them maybe in their hands in a store. They know exactly what it is that they want. And they know that the next time they hit the golf course, they want that set of Callaway clubs in their hands. That's an easy sale. The only thing you have to do is convince them that they should buy the clubs from you. Next one. Here we're dealing with an instance where they're aware of the product and how good it is. Or, they've maybe been told how good it is. In this case, all you're really having to do is convince them that yours is a little better than the others. Okay? So here we have Thirst Knows No Season. We're telling them Coke is the best. That's the one they should be going with. Okay? It's better than Pepsi. That's all there is to it. And then we can give them a reasons why. This next one I love was developed by, and this headline was from Eugene Schwartz, incredible copywriter, back in the kind of the first part of the 20th century. Here, talking about a product, you know what a product does, but you don't yet know that there is a product that'll do it for them. He wrote this headline it was a lead-in headline. Who ever heard of 17,000 blooms from a single plant? Now the idea here is, again, and this is the headline. Somebody's reading through a magazine or something and they see this. Whoever heard of 17,000 blooms from a single plant? They're going to read further. They have this lovely garden that they're growing. They're going to replant it this season. Is there a plant that'll bloom 17,000 times from a single plant? They're going to check that out. It's going to draw them in and pull them in. It grabbed them, and it's kind of pulled. It's increased their awareness. But still, you've got to do that from the very start. You have to draw them in, and then you have to explain your product. A little tougher sale here. This next one, this one I love. It's where the prospect has a need but no desire. There's no connection between fulfilling that need and your offering. Now, we've got a jock itch cream here. The idea is Joe Blow's dealing with this. He wants to get rid of it. He doesn't know what products will fulfill that. He has no idea. So, he's got to go start looking. So your job becomes putting your product out in front of them, showing them this stops that maddening itch. That's how you affect this one. So yes, you have to introduce your product. You have to explain what it does, and then you've got to tell them right off the bat, this is going to solve your problems. A little tougher one, okay? But so this one you can deal with. Still, groups 1 and 2. Those are the ones you'd like to have, and then we have number 5, where no awareness or need or desire, or the need is so undefined that there's no draw to your offering. Now with this one, the price, the product, the function or desire really means nothing. The only thing you have to market on here is the market. Now this is the fruit you hope you don't have to rely on to feed yourself, because this one, having to go to the market to rely on, you're all but doomed. So if this is the sort of product you're dealing with, my advice would be, well, frankly, drop it and then reassess your situation, and that's why I start with the prospect awareness, is because you really do need to look at the type of product you have, where it fits in the level of awareness, so that you know for whom you're going to be talking. So take a look at the whole thing. If you're fitting in 1 or 2, maybe 3 even, yeah, you can work with it. You get beyond that, it's a much tougher sell, and it's going to be tough. It's not something you can't deal with, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. So let's look at the next level.